Hey guys, Bettina here. So today I want to talk to you about what your fertility problems might be trying to teach you. And I know it might sound crazy, and I know when you're in the thick of it, you may not want to hear this because you feel like, oh yeah, that's easy for you to say now that you've got 3 kids. And I totally get that. After our 3 losses, I didn't want to hear that there was a reason for any of that happening. I didn't want to hear that maybe there was a bigger purpose and that it was meant for us, because it certainly didn't feel like it. I wanted to argue, how could this be meant for me? Why do I have to go through this to learn something? Why couldn't I learn it another way? So I get it, trust me. If you are brand new here and you haven't heard my fertility story, I'll link it above and below so you can check that one out. But I also want to share with you something I learnt through the process of losing our babies and struggling with infertility, and that's sometimes there are important messages within it and things that maybe you need to learn. So I just want to share some ideas of things that I learnt through the process of struggling with fertility and struggling to have our 3rd child, and maybe they resonate with you. Maybe you can see already in your own life that you need to address these things, so maybe it might help. So something really interesting I noticed when we were really struggling was that all of the doctors I went to, especially in the Western medical system, so obstetrician, gynecologist, that sort of thing, they really only looked at the reproductive system on its own. They didn't look at the system as a whole. And while that's important, and I really do think it's important to have someone look at your reproductive organs, I think we're really missing the mark when we don't look at the whole body, because our fertility really is a sign of our whole system working really well. And even though your reproductive organs might be perfectly fine, if you're highly stressed, the whole system isn't going to work well. So we need to look at the whole body. Traditional Chinese medicine does a really good job of this. So does Ayurveda, which is the sister science to yoga. So it's really important, I think, to not just look at the physical health of our body, but also what's going on in the rest of our life as well. And many of the lessons, I guess, that came through for me had not just to do with my physical health, although there were a lot of those as well, but they were also to do with the rest of my life. And I had to make some big changes in my life to get to a place where my body was really supported and happy and healthy, and my mind was okay and my emotions were okay for us to be able to carry and conceive our healthy baby. So like I said, these are just some suggestions, some things I learned, and maybe they apply to you, maybe they don't, maybe one thing applies, maybe you'll be like, none of that applies, and then 6 months down the line, some of these things will land and you'll be like, she did say that, didn't she? I often found things happen like that, they don't really hit home until a little bit later, and you remember back to, oh yeah, that's right, I heard that once upon a time. So the first one is slowing down. So do you need to slow down in your life? Are you stressing too much? Are you doing too much? Are you thinking too much? Perhaps number 2, what you need to do is stop entirely. Do you need to stop doing things that you hate? Stop seeing people who drain you of energy. Stop giving to people who don't give you anything back. Do you need to stop pushing or hustling, or trying so hard to fall pregnant, or trying so hard in your job or your work or your hobbies or your exercise? Do you need to stop hustling? Do you need to let go? Maybe letting go of people or letting go of old ideas that no longer serve you. Do you need to let go of that really tight grip that you have on life? Maybe the lesson for you is that you need to pay attention. Do you need to pay attention to how the body is feeling? Pay attention to your relationships. Pay attention to the really subtle changes in the body. All right, so they're just some really simple ideas, and they're really open-ended ideas because I would love for you to actually think about how they apply to your life, because I don't have the answers for you, unfortunately. You do have to do a little bit of looking inside to find these answers. So below this video, I'll leave a list of questions that you might want to answer, you might want to journal on. Journaling was a really big part of my healing after we lost our babies, and it's how I really found my way back to feeling like myself and feeling really good again. So I'll leave the link below to those questions. If you'd like to know more about that, I am almost about to publish my book, so I'll leave some information below this if you're interested in that as well. But honestly, the best advice I can give you if you're really struggling with fertility, maybe struggling with some of these questions, is to really just take a step back and to start looking at your life from that holistic view, not just the little minute details, not the tiny things you need to do, but the bigger picture. Where is there tension in your life? Where is there conflict? Where is there stress? Where does it not feel good? And see if you can start making changes to make it feel really good to you, because the better you feel, the healthier you're going to be, and the more likely you are to create that beautiful baby. So let me know in the comments if any of these things resonate with you, if you're feeling like that is you, that is definitely what you need to change. I'd love to hear what you could really relate with. All right, I'll see you in the next video.